So if Nadine wasn't a cricketer, what would she be? Playing some sport or a professional in some other field?
It would definitely have to be sport, to be honest. I can't see myself doing anything else. I would wake up at 4 in the morning. I was a massive Jacques Kallis Fan, and I would wake up at 4 to watch him play in the Big Bash back in the day when he played for the Thunder. So that was kind of, I want to say, my whole life was kind of planned around any sort of sport.
I think earlier occasions when you haven't played in this city, in Chennai, but when you've played in other cities as well, there were much smaller cities in terms of the magnitude or the logistics as well. So maybe that is one of the challenges. But you've been with a part of the Royal Challengers as well. They take care. I'm sure it's like a big place. What's that experience like?
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was one of the highlights of my career, to be honest. I think it was insane. Like I think RCB to start off with is always kind of been like when we grew up as children and you watch RCB play. I mean, it was one of the franchises when I was growing up, and I think then to get the opportunity to play for them was just so cool and like actually a bit overwhelming and just like it was super great to be a part of it. And I guess then when we got to the games and the crowds and stuff, especially because we were the home side, was just insane, and it's something I've never experienced before. And yeah, they are obviously. They look after you so well. I think especially being obviously one of the outsiders, and then it just make you feel so home and so comfortable in the space. So it was great to be a part of that as well.
So after the title win and the trophy, I know the entire team came back to the stadium Chinnaswamy, and there was a celebration, there was a reception with all the players. Must have been like a completely different world altogether.
Yeah, I obviously missed, when we went back with the trophy and stuff. Yeah, because I had another tour starting. It would have been great to be a part of it. But I can just imagine it. By the way, when we obviously had the first leg in Bangalore, and like I said, with the crowd, it was just insane. I know it's not the biggest of stadiums, but it was packed, and I think all the games were actually sold out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So I knew by the time, when we eventually won the trophy, I could just imagine when the girls got back to Bangalore, I can just think it must have been chaos.
There's still a cheer every time Smriti gets to the boundary anywhere in the country. There's cheer. There's still a cheer when they recognize a player from the same franchise. So that's the kind of fan following. I know it's very different. You've played cricket around the world as well in franchise leagues, but what is WPL? How does it get differentiated? Is just the crowd, or is just the vibe? What is it?
I don't know. I guess because in India, cricket is such a big part of, I guess, their culture and the way, I guess just the way they love the game. I would say, like, we don't get that in South Africa. I've never seen it in England or Australia before, the way that I've experienced it in India. And I think what's great for me about it is I feel it's not always just, obviously as the RCB team, we had a lot of support, but I felt like cricket in general, I feel in India, even us playing here against India, we obviously are the away side, but I still feel like the support for cricket in general has been great. I think a lot of support just for women's cricket, and I think that's what we all want to see. We want to see women's cricket grow. We want to see crowds like we got last night. Was great, great crowd again. IPL, I think that the crowds has been
brilliant.
It's been insane to see the amount of people supporting women's cricket, and I think that's obviously the main goal.
So the World Cups, the 2 World Cup finals, of course, you've been around, you've been a part, you've seen the semi-final, the final, you've seen the growth. And the reason why I'm asking is, before you got there, obviously the journey began as at a young age, and thinking, okay, I can be. Why cricket?
I actually never thought about cricket, to be honest. I was always part of a massive sporting family, and I had 2 cousins that played cricket professionally. So I guess it was kind of, I want to say, in our blood a bit. But I used to throw javelin, and in my school that was kind of my massive goal, and that was the route I wanted to go. And I guess cricket just started to, I think it just became professional in South Africa actually 2017. Yes. I think that's where professional contracts came out, and I think I was just at the right time, at the right place at that time. And I guess when I got the first call up, it was kind of, I wasn't really anywhere near with javelin at that point. I was still just in school and doing kind of school competitions. And with cricket, I was like, I have an opportunity to play professionally. And I think the first couple of tours, even I was still a bit, unsure and is this the route I wanted to go? But I think after the first couple of years, after my first 2 or 3 tours for South Africa, I was like, this is actually a dream. And I would love to, if I can do this for another 10 years, I would probably be the happiest person on earth. So I'm glad it worked out that way.
So 2023 World Cup final, you were there back home. Was it like a dream for the family coming through, watching friends and family, and then the whole stadium literally cheering? In fact, before the final, there was a semi-final as well, which you won against England. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was I think that was the first time that I've played a cricket match in South Africa where the stadium was actually full.
Yeah.
And the amount of noise that, again, the crowd made, and I think Newlands again was sold out. They actually had to make extra tickets available, to get some more people in there. And like you said, with the family there, luckily we played the semi-final and the final in Cape Town, which is where I'm from. So I had my whole family there, and again, it was really special to have them there. But I think that kind of turned a bit for women's cricket in South Africa as well. I think to have seen the amount of people showing up to that game and to see how much support we actually have was really great. And then obviously to beat England, again going into that semi-final as massive underdogs and coming out on top. And obviously we fell short against Australia, but again, I think putting up a really good team performance and a good fight. And just gets us closer every single time.
So if Nadine wasn't a cricketer, what would she be? Playing some sport or a professional in some other field?
It would definitely have to be sport, to be honest. I can't see myself doing anything else. Like I said, I think it was always the main goal for me was to become a javelin thrower. I think that was kind of from, I want to say, the age of 12 or 13, that was kind of what I wanted to become. I can't see myself sitting in an office or or doing any sort of, maths or, accounting or anything.
Some administration. I will leave it to the experts.
I can't see myself in front of a computer or any sort of thing. I would think that it has to be sport. Like I said, I grew up and that's the only thing I knew from a very young age was sport, any sort. Cricket. I even played a bit of rugby with my brother when I was younger. Athletics, hockey, netball. Yeah. So it would have had to be, I would hope, because I would not make it if I had to be in an office.
Is it a very common thing to have a sporting family in South Africa or even in your own houses, that you have people who have, like siblings or the family who have played the sport? Is it a very common thing or is it a rare thing?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think obviously a lot of the people that do play sport is probably the people that has
family history.
Families, I think obviously if you don't grow up in that sort of family, it becomes really hard. I don't really see people that often that kind of the whole family is kind of, I want to say, doctors or in a medical field, and then the
child goes into playing cricket or javelin or something.
And the child ends up playing cricket for South Africa, for example. But I guess it's very difficult to say, but I just know for me it was always sport. I think most of my family members are
sports people,
and we would wake up at 4 a.m. to watch cricket. My dad would wake up at 4 a.m. to watch the UFC fights or rugby or any sort of sport. So
did you ever get up, especially when you were giving exams during that period and a cricket or any sport was on and the family was watching? Were you ever summoned, please go and study, you have an exam tomorrow morning? Or
no,
you say, come and sit?
Luckily not, no. But I remember, like, I would always kind of put the school stuff on the side. I know I always had massive fights with my mom because I was like, all just for the sports and school didn't come as easy for me, just because I absolutely hated it. My dad was more like, just play sports, just play. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll see what it goes like.
But my mom was always the one, you need to study now. I would wake up at 4 a.m. I was a massive Jacques Kallis fan, and I would wake up at 4 to watch him play in the Big Bash back in the day when he played for the Thunder. So that was kind of, I want to say, my whole life was kind of planned around any sort of sport.
Do you remember your first cricket bat?
I do. I was 11 years old, and my dad bought me a Schlesinger.
Okay.
And I guess that again was when I was a massive fan of Jacques Kallis, like I said, and he used Schlesinger back in the day.
Yeah.
And I got exactly the same one, a green one. But yeah, I never used a bat back in the day, to be honest. So
Do you remember who gave you your South African cap or your first international cap, be it?
I can't remember ODIs. I do remember T20s was Mignon.
Okay.
But I can't remember ODIs. I've
Okay.
thought
Because
about
it wasn't considered, I was talking to Sunny the other day, I was like, it wasn't considered like one of those rituals that had to be done in a dugout and you give a speech. It was like, my cap actually came in a handbag because it was a part of the team kit. That handbag had the clothing and the cap was like, this is yours. So we've certainly got better from there.
Yeah, that was quite special. I remember, and I think I played with Mignon since I was like 11 or something. Yeah. I played obviously for the Titans with her, so I think it was quite special back in the day. Just when I got into the side, she was one of the, I want to say, the only people that I really knew at that point. So it was special to get her from
because she started playing for South Africa from kindergarten. Yeah. So she knows everyone because they've all joined in. So straight away from kindergarten to South Africa.
And I mean, she was a lovely person to have on the side as well. I mean, she was probably, I always refer to her as the mom of the team. You know, she was almost, I felt like she was like the glue, especially when I just started. So it was great to get it from her. And like I said, obviously I've known her before I got to SA, so that always helps.
You've been into India before. Have you tried any cuisine? Is it your favorite, or is it something that no, I'm not going in that direction, too spicy?
I normally struggle with, because I don't eat spicy food. So I normally struggle a bit, but I have to say, I was laughing about the other day and said I have to change my menu because I've had butter chicken and naan from this hotel 5 days in a row. And I was like, I seriously need to change because I'm not going to fit in my clothes.
Right, a few one-liners and a rapid-fire questions for you. So do you have any superstition?
No, not at all.
Excellent, excellent. So if you had to pick a teammate who can be your room partner, if you're sharing a room, who would that be?
Annika Bosch.
Nice. Any reason for that?
She's just one of my she's just one of my good mates. We've played together for quite a while, and yeah.
Which is your favorite cricket ground?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with Newlands.
Okay.
I think just with the mountain and because it's my home ground as well.
Post game celebration when you win there. Jump around.
Yeah, we normally have a team song, and I'm always one of the loudest ones. People always tell me to be quiet, so I like to be loud and make a lot of noise, and we have a massive team speaker, so we would put that on, and we have our designated DJ.
Who's that?
It's normally Chloe,
okay.
But she's obviously missed out in the last couple of tours with a few injuries, so Annery Derrickson is actually the other one who's taken over the reins, one of our younger ones, but we've all quite enjoyed her playlist, so she always puts it on full volume, and we just love to make noise. I
know it's a very nice, enjoying, fun-loving group, but is there a prank that somebody has played? When a youngster walks into the team setup, do you give them a welcome? I don't want to use the word called troubling or go the other way, but for us, we've always given a welcome in a question, in a nice way. Welcome to the group. Have you done that?
I actually miss those days. Not of late. Obviously, we've had a couple of new ones in the last couple of tours, but I think probably our biggest person who's been in charge of that is Shabnam.
Yes.
Was not obviously retired from international cricket, but I think she was the one. And when I made my debut, I remember we had to do some dances and stuff in a room, and I cannot dance at all. But we had to do a couple of those things. But we don't do that anymore. I don't know why. And we always joke around and say they have it too easy these days.
They do.
The players that come in, they just walk into the side, and like I said, one of the newer ones is our DJ, and the only thing they really do is carry the big speaker because it's this big and it's so uncomfortable to travel with. But I think it's something we definitely need to bring back because that's the things you remember as well. Like when you retire one day, you're going to remember when you walked into the side. I don't know, Mignon made you run around in circles, or I don't know, down a drink on your head, or whatever the case might be.
Correct. And those are the stories that when you sit back and, there's always said, like, it doesn't really matter how your present is, good, bad, doesn't matter. But the memories of that are largely sweet. It's always said that in that manner. I'm sure that dressing room, wherever you are, is as vibrant as it can be because you're there. So when you see yourself, coming back to a cricketing career, when you see yourself, how pleased are you with the journey, and what is the next, not just an immediate goal, but where do you see yourself? Where do you want Nadine de Klerk to be remembered?
Yeah, look, I think it's been a great journey this far, but I always, you obviously want to be remembered for the good cricketer you were, but I always feel like there's another aspect to that as well. You know, you don't just, one day when you retire, you don't want people just to give you a high five and say, you know what, well done. You average 50 with a bat, and that's great. I think the person you are within a side as well is really important. Or for me, it is. You know, you want to be that person that they actually miss having around in the change room or in team meetings or whatever, because you made it better onto it. So I always try and make jokes or, you know, have a laugh or two. Like I said, I'm always very loud. They always knock on my door and tell me to please be quiet, because I always laugh so hard. And when I tell a story, the whole team can hear me from wherever. But I think that's a really important aspect for me as well. You know, you make so many friends along this journey, but I guess as a cricketer, you want to be remembered for winning games for South Africa. I guess that's the main goal, whether it's with bat or ball, as a leader within the group, as a fielder, even if you want to be John T. Rhodes, it doesn't matter. But I think you want to be remembered, first of all, as a great teammate, someone who was there for the team first, and then obviously winning games for South Africa, and hopefully winning a World Cup as well. That would be the main goal.
We've seen Nadine de Klerk change her bowling action, use her wrist more, get that pace, get that cross-seam delivery onto the batters. What pleases you? A cartwheeling stump, or a caught behind, or just anywhere you can dismiss the batter?
Definitely a cartwheeling stump. Well, we could see that yesterday. Like, I sometimes need to tell myself to calm down a bit, because I get so excited, especially when I see stumps flying. And I guess being one of the slower bowlers within the side, it doesn't happen that often. It's more people getting caught on the boundary or LBWs or maybe getting caught in the ring or whatever. So when I do see the stumps flying, I get very excited, because that's normally our fast bowler's job.
That used to be Shabnam's job earlier.
She used to do that for fun. And like I said, with a few of the new girls as well, they're bowling some good gas, you know, big kills. And
who according to you is one of those players you would say that watch out for in international cricket going forward?
I think we have two at the moment that I'm really excited to see. Anna Reid Derrickson is one. Big girl, hits a long ball. It's not nice bowling to her in the nets, and obviously she's only starting with her bowling now, so it's work in progress. But she's scared a few of us in the nets with the way she bowls. Like I said, it's big girls, and they have some good gas as well, and the same with Ellis Marie Marks as well. Obviously didn't have the greatest of days yesterday, but I'm really excited to see what they bring. They're still very young, and hopefully I can be on this journey with them. Like, again, me and Ellis Marie has played together since we were 9 or 10, so it's been a great journey, and to see her grow as a player as well, and I hope she keeps going and keeps getting better.
Now we hope that you and everyone around you keeps getting better, because don't ever reduce the volume in which you laugh. Don't ever reduce the volume in which you tell stories, because that's the best thing you can ever do. And take my word for it, when you laugh, people at the other side of the hotel should be able to hear you, because that's exactly what you want. Someone is having a laugh. Right, join in.
I'm sure. Like, I think this morning at 2, one of our management was knocking on the door and like, you are so loud. Just please keep it down. And I was like, I'm really trying.
I'm really trying. If you really want me to be away, you can book me a suite.
Please put me on the, because well, in this hotel there's east and west wings. Put me on another wing.
Yeah, put you another wing. But we wish the best and the best for you. We hope that when you come back into India the next time, you're well looked after and in every which way. And when you walk around the streets in India playing the WPL or whichever franchise team you play for, they recognize it. Hey, I know this girl. I've laughed with her before.
We hope so.
All the very best,
Thank
and
you so much.
make sure that you trouble the batters.
Thank you.
Make sure you're that.